Hello and welcome to the Parenting Tools podcast. We are the Parenting Tools. My name is Jordan.
And my name is Jason. This is the podcast where two dads talk about the hilarious chaos. It's been so long.
Said it confidently.
What is the other bit?
The relentless beauty.
Relentless beauty. It is relentless.
The unforgettable relentless beauty.
The unforgettable relentlessness and beauty of parenting.
Jace, you've got a lozenge on the go?
I've got a lozenge on the go. In my head, I sound like Barry White.
In mine, you look like him.
So if my voice just disappears halfway through the podcast, you're soloing it.
Oh, don't do it to me. Don't leave me hanging.
I'll be here just silently laughing along. Nothing's changed as usual.
Do you know, we haven't done this, just me and you, since Easter Monday.
Seriously? Is that right?
Is Easter Monday a thing? Or is it just the Monday after Easter?
Easter Monday, all the same?
Bank Holiday Monday was the last time me and you... We obviously had guest episodes.
Wow,
We've had Mark. We had Sam last week. Shout out to Sam.
Yeah. So since then, we've not done this, just two of us in person.
Just us.
Wow.
So yeah, feels nice.
It does feel nice.
Happy to be back.
Feels strange, doesn't it?
Back in the saddle. So how's it been?
Oh, it has been... It's been really good. I've been on holiday.
You have?
I've been away for work.
Nice.
And like now I've found myself kind of trying to readjust from today to like back to normal life.
Yeah.
So it's actually quite late for us recording this.
It is indeed.
Because I had the tension of, I was away for 3 days this week, could like crack of dawn, gone, didn't get back till really late. And my daughter has been pretty sad. Because we were on holiday the week before, spent lots of time with her, and then when I was away for work and FaceTiming, she would just cry on FaceTime.
Oh, bless her.
I miss Daddy, which conflicted me.
Yeah.
I felt really bad for not being there, but I felt nice being wanted.
Yeah. And you can turn it down.
Yeah. I'll just turn it off. But so yeah, just trying to be extra present. In the home.
Yeah.
Just being there for Noah and just hanging out a bit more. But I'm already feeling the tension on just life and work, trying to be home more. I think by the end of this week, I'll have to go back to the normal balance, whatever that was, but trying to compensate in a way.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's been manic. I don't really feel like I know what's going on, but I really do. So
yeah. Well, I've got a bit of a life update that kind of crosses that bridge that you've just mentioned, addresses that. But I'll come back to it as a little bit of a deep bit.
Oh, just a little hook.
Yep.
Reel me in.
Yeah, watch till end.
Watch till
Wait for it. But because we've not done this for a while, we've got a load of listener questions.
We have loads of questions.
Loads of listener comments to get through. But before we do, got a few open little things. We like to say what's gone on with our kids, funny bits.
Oh, I've got a top tool.
Oh, top tool. Boom.
Nearly.
Forgot about that.
I still felt like the Barry White. The baritone.
Come on now.
So, genuine top tool. We were taking my daughter swimming quite a lot at Centre Parks. Shout out to the Centre Parks pool. Very good. Love the rapids. Myself, not my daughter. She's learning how to swim, but you have to wear one of those little vests or like armbands or something.
Yeah.
Bless her arms aren't strong enough to have armbands by herself. And the bodysuit like floats.
Yeah.
Was just too big, and like it was just like holding her up by her neck.
Oh yeah.
And so genuinely, my wife bought this thing off Amazon, and when I saw it, I was like, "What is that? Like, I can't put my daughter in that." When I saw it in the pool, I was like, "All those sorts are gone."
Yeah.
It worked perfectly. It's
Won
called
you
a
over.
puddle jumper.
We've got them. There's one there.
It's like we've planned it and we haven't. For
No.
those watching on the video, look at this. It's
Look
got like
at that.
2 armbands attached to a bit that goes around your chest.
Yep.
Doesn't sound that innovative, but it is.
We had the exact same thing. So our little boy, armbands were kind of just too much. The vests were too big, so they'd just ride up to his chin. and we saw a kid in the pool with those on, puddle jumper. My wife said, "What's that?" Puddle jumper. Costco. We got ours from.
Nice.
Now our little girl's got one as well. So yeah, we're a puddle jumper family. You're preaching to the choir.
So I don't think we have an official puddle jumper one. We have a knockoff. Unless they want to sponsor us, then we'll have the legitimate one.
A piddle jumper.
But it works just as good all the same.
They're really good. They are really good. That is a top tool.
Yeah.
For anyone struggling with the swimming buoyancy.
Honestly, can't recommend it more.
Yeah. So yeah, that went well then, did it? Kind of change the...
Changed the game. She's now trying to actually swim, which is nice, rather than just float there, just like unsure of life.
Like a cork.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we got a... well, before I get into that, I've got a nappy update. So I said last week that we'd ditched the nighttime nappies. So we're 8 nights in.
8?
Yeah. 7 or 8. And we've had 2 accidents. That's it.
Nice.
So he's done brilliantly. Really proud of him. And one of those accidents, it was a light one. Quite enough to wake him up, but not enough to think, I'll change the sheets. We've been putting a towel down as well. But he's been doing really well. Really proud of him. However,
no,
he's waking up in the night for a wee.
Yeah.
It's 2:45 this morning. And I'm thinking, let's get a nappy back on it.
So just give me a quick update on the sleep scenario. What's it been like the last few weeks? Standard night.
We've been doing really well, sleep-wise.
Yeah.
Which is good. Can't complain.
So talk me through details. What time do they get to sleep?
So little girl, she's, how old is she now? She's 1 3/4. She's 1 and something, which, again, I'll pick up in a bit. She goes through 6 to half 6 to half 6. She's amazing. Luca goes through probably 7:30 till half 6.
Wow.
6. But we still have a little bit of go back till your clock's yellow, and he's been getting better at that.
Yeah.
Ongoing battle for long-time listeners. Still not there.
This is one of those moments where it's like, I'm really pleased for you.
We've had a lot of this recently. So we posted a video of Alistair when Alistair was on. Brilliant episode.
Miffy.
Yeah, Miffy. Great episode. I think I had a lot of good feedback, a lot of text from people saying, really enjoyed that episode.
That's my first 5 years.
Yep.
You didn't know?
And so we put a clip of Alistair saying, there's no such thing as a baby that just sleeps through the night. And your baby will wake up and, it's natural for them to wake up. We've had so many comments of people saying, well, my baby does sleep through. They do exist because mine exists. Have I been nursing a non-existent baby? And I think a lot of people are taking that literally. What he's saying is there's not a baby that sleeps deeply through the night. You have lighter periods of sleep. Some will wake up but not cry. But like, all those people going, mine sleeps 17 hours. I'm like, good for you. Like,
Great.
Genuinely, I'm so pleased for you. But read the room a bit.
Yeah, there's people that are having a hard
There's a lot of people saying, like, we had one comment saying, I needed this today. I was like, at my wit's end. And then you've got someone else going, my kid sleeps for 3 weeks straight. And it's, I'm chuffed for you.
So we currently, and this has been the norm for us for a while now. So my daughter's 3 in a month, whatever that means. She goes to bed anywhere between 6:30 and 7:30. The routine's the same.
Yeah.
When we start, it depends on if she's tired or not. And then anywhere between 10 p.m, as it was last night, and 1 a.m, she'll just waltz into our room, refuse to go back into her bedroom, and she'd be really cute and just want to cuddle.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then she's in our bed. And then 7 o'clock usually on the dot, she's up.
How do they do it?
I don't know, but so she's sleeping well. It's just from the time that she's in our bed, I'm not sleeping that well.
Yeah.
To the point where I've considered sleeping on the floor in the middle of the night. Just going, the floor looks nice right about now.
Well, last night he came in. It was 2:45, and he went to the toilet. He was dry again, chuffed. But just do it in your own bed. Like, stay in there and talk to someone else. And he came into our room, and we've got a light in our room that sometimes kind of glows. It's not on, but it glows a little bit. Nice. And he just went, "There's a ghost up there." So my wife freaks out, and he's going, "It's got glowy eyes," or something along those lines. He's got a double bed. I mentioned this before. I just got up and went in his room. I just thought, I'm not having a conversation at this time. So I went into his bedroom. But yeah, that's disrupted things a little bit. He's been waking up once in the night to go for a wee. And again, it's just one of those phases that we've got to see out. But yeah, just a bit of a pain.
So we're on the cusp of dropping nighttime nappies. Last week, my daughter can now use the normal toilet by herself. No intervention. Number 1s and number 2s.
Nice.
That was a big achievement. I was very proud. I took a photo. It was a bit weird. But very proud.
It's one of those achievements that's not an achievement kind of thing.
Yeah. So we're now like on the edge, on the verge of dealing with nappies at night time. But honestly, I can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered now to throwing another thing to change. It will happen at some point.
Yeah.
I'm waiting until she asks now.
That's the thing. You know you should do it, but you don't want to. It's like potty training in daytime. Like, you know you should do it, but it's just one of those things.
Talking of toilet time, so I took the wife and Noah for a walk. Not like dogs. Let me just rewind.
Walkies!
We went on a family walk. Get out in nature, go see a lake, all that sort of stuff. Go feed some angry geese, and they were angry.
I got attacked by some geese.
Honestly,
once.
I was scared.
Is it a gaggle?
A gaggle of geese.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought, because it was hissing, if I hissed back because I'm a bigger mammal, they're not mammals, but because I was a big mammal, they'd get scared and step back. Nope.
No.
Made things 10 times worse. Anyway, on the way back from the walk, like before we went out, we checked, like, does she need a toilet, all that sort of stuff? No, she's fine. On the way back, she's like, I need a wee. There's no toilets about, but we're in nature. Sure. So my wife helps her, holding her. Actually holding her, hovering above the ground. And then all I hear is oh no. Oh no. All I could see is a pile of human poo. So I want to know, is it illegal for human poo to be out in the wild? Because there are various signs about dog poo. And I've looked into it. There's a reason why. Not just because it makes the place look dirty. It's harmful bacteria in dog poo that can really seriously damage humans.
Were you just leading the geese to the poo? Here you go. A little snack for you.
I was genuinely scared that we'd broken the law. So we just wiped and ran.
Well, and because she's not a baby, I bet you don't carry nappy bags around anymore, do you?
No.
We've had that exact scenario.
We are sans nappy in the day.
Sans nappy. You're a lawbreaker. That's what you are. A criminal.
Well, I'm so sorry if you come across a poo which looks more humanist than dog-ish.
Yeah, we've had that exact same thing. I need a wee, little hover, and then it's like, eh. But the good thing for us is having a baby. We had nappy bags, so I did the whole inside out thing.
Yeah, I wish I could say I did the same.
I didn't break the law. Is it illegal?
I don't know. I can't find it. Like, it's clear it's illegal for, like, in public, but out in the nature that's not necessarily public.
Have you Googled this?
Tentatively.
Yeah.
It's
well, one eye closed.
I didn't really look too far.
Yeah. Okay.
I looked enough to go, well, you can argue either way.
The answers will come and find you now.
But John, we've had a few messages.
We have had a few messages.
Quite a few.
We had quite a few messages. While you load up the first one, I'm just going to tell our listeners that we got a pet in our house. A pet caterpillar. Yep. One of those things. Catherine the caterpillar. No.
Hungry?
Well, this is the thing. So my son loves the Hungry Caterpillar.
Yeah.
He can recite the book. And my wife's school, they had a load of caterpillars in that they were going to feed, cocoon, butterflies.
Wow.
And one day we had to take her because we had, and it's proper first world problems. We were down to one car, so I had to take her to work like it was 1994. And the reception teacher came out, and she's lovely. And she listens to the pod, actually. So shout out to you, reception teacher. And she was like, oh, do you want to take one home? He said, yeah. So we had this caterpillar in our house in a little pot that he just kind of look at. He couldn't get it out. He just kind of look at it, check his caterpillar. So it was first called Tiger.
Yeah, nice.
It was stripy.
Yeah.
Then it was called Thor.
Great.
Then it was called Spider-Man. And then I think it's finished on Iron Man.
Okay.
And once it got into its cocoon, you had to take it back to school for it to become
Hold on.
a beautiful butterfly.
You keep a caterpillar in a jar.
It was in a little pot, yeah. She gave it him in a pot.
And it just stays in the pot?
Yeah, so there was food in there.
Oh, okay.
Some air holes. And made its little chrysalis cocoon.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. And you don't have to pick up any droppings.
Or human poo.
So that's where we are. So it's gone back to the school now. It's now a butterfly living its best life.
That's well cool.
Lovely. Wholesome.
Make sure the note goes into a village-esque school.
Yeah.
Rather than concrete jungle. Today you're taking home cement.
Jason, have you got our first message?
Yes, we've had a great question from Calum.
Calum. Shout out, Calum.
Great question. It says, fussy toddlers, what's the best way to get them to eat? Their likes and dislikes change on the daily. This is so real.
Yes, they do.
The latest thing for us is, I think I mentioned it before. No, it wasn't. She likes chicken. She loves chicken nuggets, but she sometimes doesn't like the crust.
Yeah.
But she doesn't like chicken plain. So you have to get the chicken nuggets, and then she'll insist you peel off the batter.
The batter. Mate, that is peak toddler.
But now it's changed that she doesn't like cheese. Now, that's problematic for us because Noah's allergic to normal cheese.
Yep.
Which means she doesn't get a lot of calcium in her diet because it's just dairy.
Yep.
She's got special cheese. Fantastic. She used to eat it with a handful. Now she's not eating it.
By the handful?
Yeah, quite literally.
Shove it in my face.
Now she's not eating it. It's causing a bit of a problem because she's not having as much calcium in her diet. And so, Caleb, I would love to know the answer to this question too.
We quite often do this where someone asks us a question and we just say, don't know. We're there as well.
There's things I've tried that have worked on other ways.
Yeah.
Making it sound more exciting than it is.
Yeah, we've done this we called mashed potato, space potato. Said this before. Worked for about 3 days. Yeah. My kids eat pasta. I've said this before as well. They will eat pasta non-stop. But it's just getting other things in the mix. How do you get them veg?
Blender. Yeah, blend it into the tomato sauce.
Do you do that?
You can do that, yeah.
That's cool.
That's the game changer. And it tastes wonderful.
So today we had pasta, and my wife said to again, lesson 2. I don't know. I want to pick this up as well. I've said that. But she's lesson 2. She put 3 peas on her plate. She said, no peas, and picked them off. What is it with kids and veg? Why do you just not eat veg?
Yeah, so Noah goes through phases. Like, she loves peas and sweet corn.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll love broccoli, but when I say sometimes, it'll be on a random day where she'll say, I love broccoli. That day we make sure we get broccoli on the plate.
Yeah.
Most of the day she doesn't eat it.
It's odd, isn't it?
Here's one thing that we learned, and I don't know, Callum, about how old there's toddlers in this situation.
Yeah.
Because we spoke to the doctor about Noah not eating as much because we were a little bit concerned. And he was saying that, or they were saying that when toddlers go through growth spurt, they eat loads.
Yeah.
But when they've gone through that, they don't need to grow as much, and so they're not as hungry. And so actually our expectations of how much she should be eating was so out of whack. And actually she was fine eating a lot less until then her hunger picked back up because she needed to grow again. And so we just kind of changed all our portion sizes. But yeah, until they can understand proper bribery, I don't know which way to go.
I saw a thing recently, and I don't know if this was fact or not. So it might be just spreading misinformation. But, excuse me. I had a drink of water just then, and it went down a little bit of a wrong hole. And it was don't view your child's food intake daily, view it as weekly.
Okay.
So it was as long as they've had some sort of fruit and veg in the week, don't worry too much if it's not every single day.
It's like the opposite of a massive Dwayne The Rock Johnson cheat day. Just have one day where they're just smashing veg.
Take your word for it. I'm not looking into his diet, but yeah, let us know what works for you. Next, this is picking up from do you know we did our Q&A?
I vaguely remember it.
That was Easter Monday.
Was it?
It was. And you finished with the question of a TV or film that represents your parenting style. Now, I've been thinking about this.
Oh, go on then.
Happy Gilmore. So do you know Happy Gilmore,
I'm a big fan.
the golfist, who he's not very good golfer. He can just hit it really far.
I think you killed Mr. Lady. Just a quote.
Happy. That is me. That is my kind of trying to control my frustration sometimes and just being like, just tap it in. When like all is going wrong around you and you just want to lose it, like Happy Gilmore at the ball not going in the green.
Yeah.
When he's trying to just put it gently. When you're trying to gentle parent, but your child is not gentle childing, just tap it in. That is
Your child is not gentle child.
that is just tap it in. That's
I
me.
laugh. I got slapped the third time in a week.
The headbutts, man. So yeah, that's me. I'd say Happy Gilmore just holding it together.
Which one of the Simon Pegg films is the one where he's like a police officer and he goes into like Hot Fuzz?
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz. Not the title of the film, but the way that is represented. He goes into a quaint little village, feels like he knows what he's doing in his job, and all of a sudden, he's just out of his depth and is off on a wild goose chase. That's how I feel. Parenting is not what I expected.
You cannot reason with the things coming your way.
For the greater good.
The greater good. I forgot about that. That is one of those films I watched when I was a teenager and just didn't get it, and then revisited as an adult and thought that's quality.
It's a great film.
Yeah.
But just that sense of like, I felt somewhat prepared.
Yeah.
I felt somewhat adequate as a human.
Yeah.
Now it's like every day I'm caught off guard by something of, how do we crack this bit of like behaviour?
Not in the same way he did in the film. Not at all. So I've mentioned a couple of times my daughter is 1, nearly 2, 1.5, whatever it is.
Yep.
And that is because I'm at a point where I've stopped using months. I don't know. She's 1 and something.
Yeah.
So we posted this. So an account called Dadman Walking. That's brilliant. It's quite nicely with Hot Fuzz. He said this dude introduced himself on a work call and he said that he had a 30-month-old.
Hold on. What?
So this dude just introduced himself on a work call and he said he had a 30-month-old. So we're not going to be friends. So we asked the question, when do you move from saying months to years when you're saying how old your kids are? And we had a lot of responses to this. So as you can probably tell, mine was 1. They're 1.
Yeah.
Definitely not to whatever 30 months is.
What is 30 months?
So it's 12,
My
24,
maths is not very
36.
good.
It's 2 and something.
That's far too long.
That's 2 and 6 months, isn't it?
I can understand it because like the development changes drastically.
Yep.
Between those gaps. Like a 2-year-old and a 2-year-old who's nearly 3, there's a massive leap there.
Yep.
But no one needs to know.
So we've had lots of responses, so I'm going to rattle through these. Yeva, regular listener, 18 months or even earlier. After that, it just sounds silly. Joe, 12, just 1. 12 months. Unless it's your third, then you just say a random number and hope for the best. Luke, when your baby is 1 year old. Jade, 18 months. Arta, after 12 months. Evie, 2 years old. And then you just say 2.5, 3, 3.5, 5. Jan, that's my mum, at 2 years. Caleb, 2 years. Ermac, do you remember Ermac? Raging at her partner back in the day. As soon as you hit 1, had enough of counting on my fingers. Laura, 18 months. Elise, that's my sister, 18 months. Basically, it's 1, 18 months or 2 is the recurring theme.
Yeah, I think it would change depending on the context of the conversation as well. Like if you're talking to a bunch of other parents about child development and like you're comparing stuff, that helps to just offset some of the expectations.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be going until they're 18. Like they're 216 months old.
Mate, if that is 18 years old,
I used the calculator.
Oh. That was... Mate. So yeah, I was. I think with my first, I was probably like 18 months.
Yeah.
Second, I was 12, 1.
I'm doing it in days.
Mate, have you done it?
No.
Ed Vorderman over here.
Well, that's just someone who's really struggling.
Yeah, that's someone that has read all the parenting books, and they know all the sleep cycles. So, Jace, we've had a message from international listener. I forgot about your voice. I'm so sorry. I went far too high there. But we've had a message from Emily in Australia.
Australia.
You want to read it, or shall I read it?
Oh, you read it.
I'll read it. Hey, Jason and Jordan. Another international listener.
Should you have to do an accent, or is that inappropriate?
Texas. Australia. You bogan. Australian listeners.
I can't do an Australian accent.
No, I can't really. Got one of our best friends is Australian, and I'm still no better at it. But I can say you bogan. Hey, Jason and Jordan, another international listener here from Australia. Absolutely love your podcast. I found you guys a couple of months ago and have binged all your episodes. I'm a young mum to the sweetest 9-month-old girl. Oh,
very nice.
Do you remember having a 9-month-old girl?
I do.
How sweet.
Yeah.
I don't have many mum friends, so your podcast has been amazing. Your real and relatable content makes me feel less alone, and you guys never fail to make me laugh, even on the tough days. Keep the episode coming. Emily.
Wow. Emily, and if your experience is similar to mine, my daughter is nearly 3. I'm not sure what that is in months. But honestly, she's still so sweet. Melts my heart still.
Yeah.
Thank you for the message.
That's a lovely message. Thank you, Emily.
John, we've had a voice note.
Love a voice note.
Love a voice note. And I've not listened to this. This is my real reaction.
I love this.
If I hear one more person say to me, sleep when the baby sleeps, I think I may just high-five them in the face with a brick. And I don't even think I'd be sorry for doing it. I'm currently trying to run around the house and do 1,000 jobs because she's a ticking time bomb, and I know for a fact that she could wake and scream at any point, and then if she needs a feed, that's me completely out of action for at least an hour or a couple of hours, and probably needing a complete outfit change because her reflux is that bad, she'll probably drench me in sick. But weirdly, I'm loving it. I think that's what this whole parenting thing is. Like, you couldn't be beaten and battered more and enjoy it. But I do. There's good days and bad days, don't get me wrong. And last night was horrific. But yeah, I adore her.
That's from Helen. What a message.
It's a great message.
All I can think is, like, those early days, and I look back on it, it reminds me of having to sleep. It doesn't remind me. It's what I imagine sleeping in a war zone feels like.
Yeah.
Because you're just so nervous of what will happen next.
There's always something going on.
That you can't sleep when the baby's going to sleep because you're just a nervous wreck.
Yeah. I fell asleep yesterday. So for context, Helen's got a 2-month-old. So very different to our circumstances. But I fell asleep yesterday just face down on our mattress. My wife was doing the bedding. It had no sheets on it, no pillows. I just looked like a dead person, just lying face down, and I was flat out for a good 30, 40 minutes. Wow. It was great, mate. Solid nap. But yeah, like kind of itchy mattress because it's not got a sheet on it. But yeah, I absolutely love that message from Helen. I think she sums it up so well in the whole thing of like, I love it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's chaos, and yes, it's carnage, and yes, it's tiring. Yes, it's like a bomb site, but I love it so much. So yeah, shout out to Helen and all the other new mums that are just getting used to all that kind of stuff. Because it, like we've said this before, we can't speak from a woman's perspective, but it must be so hard. Yeah,
it's so hard, and what I think is even worse, that everyone's got an opinion.
Oh man,
everyone's got an opinion, and even if like you don't have a massive circle of people, like even your own parents and like those that you relate to, everyone's got an opinion on the best way to do it.
Yeah,
and kids are like similar in a lot of ways, but they're also so different.
Yeah,
and so like managing that tension, like it's hard enough with all the other stuff going on. Yeah, massive respect to women in general.
So speaking of messages from new mums, we've had a message on Instagram, and this person has asked to remain anonymous. So she says, just thank you guys for the podcast. It's nice to have a little bit of reality without being just moaning. I'm guessing she's playing catch up, and she's no.
It comes later.
Yeah. Which says, I have a 3.5-month-old who is a great sleeper. So kind of picking up on the thing we said before.
Wow.
Most nights we get from 9 or 10 p.m. until about 4 or 6 in the morning. So for 3.5 months, that's pretty good.
I love their outlook on that.
Yeah.
Great sleeper. I'm getting up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Great sleeper.
Yeah, brilliant sleeper. But for 3 months, that is pretty good. Not every night, but most. This has been the case now for about 6 to 8 weeks. Yes, he does nap too. And if I dare say this to other parents, I either get, oh, don't talk to me, that's not fair, or just wait, it won't last. Now, that might be true, but I can't enjoy it for now. Additionally, I'm still exhausted from the mental load. I'm not stupid. I know I feel a lot better than most due to decent sleep. I'm still shattered, and I don't feel I have a place to express that. I just want someone to say, yes, I get it. You're still a first-time mum of a 3-month-old. You're still knackered from recovery, pregnancy, hormones, the mental load of new motherhood. You might feel less hysterical, sleep deprived, and generally horrendous, but you will still feel exhausted, and that's okay. And we're here for you, rather than just wait, it won't last.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm writing this at nearly 5 a.m. while the baby goes back to sleep after a feed.
It's so true, isn't it?
We got that message at 4:49 in the morning.
Wow, that's a great message, and it's so true. Like, it's really difficult to have conversations about your kids that don't seem like competitive.
Yeah.
Of either the parents' competitiveness of having more sleep and being more tired.
Yep.
But then on the flip side, it's really easy as a parent when you are shattered just to try and make a joke of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I related to this quite a lot, and I said this probably before. Our little girl from, I want to say 8 months, slept through and woke up once around a similar time, around 3, 4, and it really took it out of me, even though I knew that was quite good.
Yeah.
One wake up, I was pretty chuffed. And then we had, I think it was the Jubilee, and I was talking to one of the women locally, and said, oh, does she sleep through yet? I said, oh, just the one wake up. She went, oh, that's not very good at 8 months. And I just thought, you can't win. There's no winning. And, and that kind of thing that she just said there, when you say to other people that aren't maybe doing as well, there's a bit of guilt where you maybe feel like you're rubbing it in.
Yeah.
And then someone just goes, oh, just you wait. So and this feels like a lot of the time with being a parent, and especially a new parent, you can't win. No matter what you say, someone will pick it apart and find the negative.
Yeah, I wonder if there's a part of us where we can try mitigate people's expectations as well. And we don't want to allow people just to enjoy the moment. It's more just prepare because it might get bad, rather than just going, just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do, by all means, enjoy it while it lasts, because it might not last. I think that's what people are saying, but
yeah,
it's that kind of expectation that you're happy now, but you won't be.
Yeah. And I don't necessarily think it's the happiness, it's just the exhaustion sometimes.
Yeah.
But again, that changes depending on every child and every parent.
Yeah.
The ups and downs of parenting, it is constantly changing. That's the point. But trying to enjoy the moment is probably getting harder when everyone's sharing their opinions.
Yeah. And you've said this before, it's not even just the physical, it's the mental, the relentlessness where you just can't switch off.
Yeah.
That will take its toll as well. So thank you for that message. Like I said, she wants to remain anonymous, but thank you so much. And we've had an email from Ryan Adams.
Brian?
Right. It's the summer of 69. So this one's come from Illinois. My name is Ryan. I'm 24. I'm born and raised in Illinois, but currently live in my wife's home in the state of West Virginia. Country roads take me home. I've lost my place. And have a 1.5-year-old called Luella. with another one on the way.
Wow.
Gosh. Go on, Ryan Adams. So, hang on a second. I want to pick this up. He's 24. That's young, isn't it? To be expecting your second.
Yeah.
I think I got married at 24. Yeah, I did.
I can't remember.
Shout out to you, Ryan.
Yeah.
I think I'd like to have had kids at 24, you know.
I would like the energy.
The energy.
I still quite like the fact that I didn't.
Yeah. I think my dad had my sister at 24 and me at 26, so he was quite young. But yeah, that's cool. 1.5-year-old and another on the way due in June.
Wow.
Is that Irish twins?
No.
I can't do the maths.
1.5. It's got to be under 1.
Oh, yeah, of
Under
course.
1 year.
Yeah, I'm not the best at biology. Anyway, so it's quite a long message, so I'll cut through. But Ryan's catching up. He's on the Christmas episodes, but he's given up on social media. And so he's sending us an email, doing it the old-fashioned way.
Wow.
But I have a top tool that's worked for me fairly frequently throughout my daughter's first year. And sometimes you have to be patient for it to work. Oh. And it might only work on kids under 1, or at least that have less movement in their body. So we have a typical rocking chair in her room, and I count the rocks in my head up to 100. If she moves or make noise within reason, I restart the count. If you go through 100 rocks with no movement or noises, it's safe to attempt to lay them in their crib. Anytime I've went through to 100 rocks with no movement or noise, she doesn't fight the sleep near as much. Feel free to give your thoughts on this whenever you get a chance. Appreciate y'all's podcast, and be sure to expect more questions, tools and stories from me in the future. Thank you for that, Ryan Adams.
Well, Ryan Adams, I can safely say, when my child was younger, I thought myself a man of science. Trying every test and counting available data available, and I couldn't crack it. I couldn't crack it. One thing would work, and I'd count to a lot higher than 100 before I tried to put my daughter down. Sometimes it would work a treat. Other days, no.
We say this a lot.
Yeah.
If it works for you, you do it. There's no way I'd be counting to 100 and starting again if I got to 98 or 99.
I've been there.
Or 75.
Yeah, I've been there.
I just won't be counting to 100. I just haven't got that kind of patience.
When you've got a target and that's the only thing that you've got, sleep has driven me to a few things that I never thought I would do.
Yeah, the dance moves.
The dance moves.
The dance mats.
Trying to find algorithms in the carpet. Doesn't work for me.
I was guilty of just going for a drive. If they struggled to go down, stick them in the car.
Yeah,
I really didn't want to, because I thought I don't want that to be the only way they get to sleep. But there were just some days where I just thought I need to get some sleep now. Throw them in the car, and then have blurry vision driving.
I'd like to know Ryan's further experiments.
Yeah.
If it persists, but also any new ones that comes across.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, thank you, Ryan Adams from West Virginia.
I was going to attempt to do an accent, but I don't actually know what that accent is.
Nor do I. Not a clue.
I still want to try it, but I know it'd be wrong.
Go on. In your Marvin Gaye voice.
Virginia.
I felt that. It was so deep.
Did I ever tell you the story that I was so scared once to wake up Noah that instead of hoovering my car outside, I drove to the nearest service station?
How far was it?
10 minutes.
Really?
Yep.
It drives you that way though, doesn't it, sometimes?
Literally, in the service station, the only other car in the car park was a police car, and I get out in my shorts and flip-flops with a hoover. I thought this guy looks so dodgy.
Is it illegal to drive in flip-flops? You're just breaking the law, left, right and centre.
Oh, this was lockdown as well, so...
You shouldn't have been outside. 10 minutes from your house. Yeah, that's funny. Speaking of counting to 100, our son, who is 36 months, I don't know how it is. He's nearly 4. He decided to count to 100 the other day in the car. It took a long time.
Did you get there?
He got there. He needed a bit of help with 80, 90. He'd go 78, 79, 70, 10.
Got you.
And I'd go A, he'd go 80. Mate, 100 takes a while when you're driving.
Yeah, but that's genuinely something I do if I need some time. I go, no, can you count to 100? And she can get there, but I know I've got a few minutes now.
He got to 40 and I thought, how far are you going to go? And we were stuck in traffic as well. And I just wanted to be like, mate, can you stop counting? But he was really enjoying it. It was keeping him, and I was so proud of him when he got to 100.
Yeah, it's, again, another one of those things. What I don't like is that now, like, Noah does a similar thing, but now she wants to do it together.
Yeah.
I did not sign up for that.
It's a solo activity.
And she wants to do it so frequent where you say all the odd numbers and she'll say all the even numbers.
That's clever.
It's clever, but I did not want to count to 100.
Yeah.
I just want to I want just some time to drive.
It's not a team sport. It's an individual event. Well, I was driving with my son, what day is it? Monday, yesterday. And I had one of those kind of, your toddler melts your heart kind of moments. So I was shattered yesterday, hence the dead body sleep that I had on an empty mattress. And he was talking and he was talking and he was talking. I was just like trying to keep awake. And this was about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, like midday. I was just doing my best to drive. And he was talking. I'm not responding. I'm really tired, completely zoned out. And he just went, Daddy? I said, yeah. And he went, what's the matter? Oh. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, I don't know, like, where developmentally, like, social cues and things like that come in, but, like, he could tell that there was something not quite right. Oh. And I felt a bit guilty. And I was thinking, I should, respond to him when he's talking to me. But I said, nothing's the matter. I'm just a little bit tired. And he went, yeah, me too. I was like, should we go in for a nap? He was like, yeah. Anyway, we've ditched his nap, so he couldn't nap. But so yeah, that was really lovely. That was quite nice.
Oh, very wholesome.
Bless him. Anyway, got a bit of a deep bit. How are we doing for time?
I actually don't know.
Oh, well, let's crack on.
Go on, put your snorkel on.
So I've got a life update. Got a bit of a life update.
Oh, yeah, you teased that from the beginning. We've got to go in.
So I've got a new job.
Way.
Yeah. Oi, oi. So I got a new job. At the start of the year, I said one of my resolutions was to get a promotion after looking at the smart meter. And
yeah.
And like, all jokes aside, and this is a bit of a serious thing, I kind of want to touch on finance and the cost of living and all that kind of stuff. And when I said to my wife, I want to talk about finance on the pod, she went, oh, don't. And I think that's partly because it's a boring topic and partly because we're British and people don't talk about finances.
It's a stressful topic.
And it's a stressful topic.
Yeah, especially now.
But yeah, it's one of those things. I'm not a particularly flashy person. If anyone watches this pod, they will notice I have like 6 jumpers that are all the same. They're just slightly different shades of grey. And I've got 7 or 8 t-shirts, exactly the same, just slightly different shades of whatever. So I'm not like a flashy person. I don't do stuff for money. But with the way that life has gone recently, my outgoings have gotten bigger, much like a lot of people. Incomings had stayed the same. And it's like, right, something's got to give now. And I will say this with a parentheses, I don't know if I've used that correctly at all, of perspective. I know things could be worse, and I know people are in worse positions, but for me and my experience, that's what I was thinking. And kind of dad mode kicked in of, like, I need to provide, and I need to earn a little bit more, and I need to just bring in more money. And so that was a major part of looking for a new job. Now I've landed at a marketing agency in town. It's a creative agency. They do some brilliant stuff. So it's a great job. It's a great opportunity. But with that extra money and that extra responsibility comes longer hours.
Yeah.
A bit more expectation and a bit more time away from the kids. Now, we've talked about this a lot. And I've been in a brilliant position for the last few years where I've worked from home 4 days a week. I've worked hours to suit me. I've worked hours to suit the kids. I've been able to work from home when they're ill, poorly, whatever. Whereas now it's kind of a little bit more structured because it's client work. So you're kind of having to meet other expectations. Clients don't care, if your kid's poorly.
Yeah.
They just want the work that they've paid for, generally speaking. That's quite a crass way of putting it, but you know what I mean? There's expectation. Yeah. So I'm now working 3 days a week in the office or the studio, and my working days are 2 hours longer.
So 3 days and then some at home.
2 days at home.
Yeah.
So with travel, with the extra hours,
Yeah.
extra little bit of working time, my working day is 2 hours longer.
Wow.
So that's less time from the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'll put it in the perspective. There are people that do 5 days, there are people who do 6 days, there are people that do 2 jobs. So I'm still in a really fortunate position, but my circumstance has changed. And there was one day recently, I dropped the kids off at 7:30 at nursery, picked them up, I think it was 6:45. So they'd been in nursery for like 11 hours.
Yeah.
And I just felt a little bit bad, but sounding maybe like a hypocrite and all the stuff we've talked about, like it's really important to focus on your family for the first, few years of their life. It's necessary at this moment in time to make that step to provide, because life is mental.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of way we've been in such a privileged position, like especially in our society.
Yeah.
We've been so privileged with opportunity and time, and we've not been fighting to put a roof over our heads, like generally speaking.
Yep.
And so we've had the privilege of first world problems.
Yep.
And like with interest rates and all that, we're starting to like experience more of the tightness that the generations before us are used to as well.
Yeah.
But there's something that we've been experiencing as well. Like I chose my job definitely not for the money. So for those who don't know, I'm a minister. That came with a significant pay drop, but felt right. All those sorts of things felt right for the family. Loads of sacrifice that was counted for, but on the same time, I'm also my own boss, and so I can make other sacrifices for the meantime. However, it definitely becomes the tension of sometimes you've just got to get through, and that's okay. There's a couple I know that are in my church. They've got 3 kids, 2 older kids and one the same age as Noah. And the husband works like a normal job at long hours, and the wife's a nurse, shift worker.
Yeah.
And it's like, so she'll have to work evenings, like 4 days on, 4 days off.
Yeah.
And it's carnage. It looks like I would not be able to do it, but they're literally just like, we just have to get through, like whatever it costs at the moment to get through.
Yeah.
That's all we need to do. And it's like, oh, of course, like as your parent, that's what you want to do for your kids. Yes, you want to spend more time with them, but also it's necessary that we can still live and have the freedom, like as well, to go to soft plays every now and then, all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
It's a constant balancing act, and I think a few people don't like the word balance because it assumes like you've got things like balancing right.
Yeah.
But I think it is appropriate because you're constantly adjusting.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in life and in parenting or in work life, you're constantly trying to adjust so the appropriate time is being spent and finances.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's just where I'm at the minute. Really chuffed with the opportunity. The company, I'm 3 weeks in.
Nice.
Company are great. The people are brilliant. Like I think from day one, I was really well welcomed and didn't feel like the new person, didn't feel like a spare part at all. So they've been brilliant. But like just in the back of my mind, there is that thing of like, there's a lot less time with the kids. Like tomorrow, I've been asked to go to London for the day, which is like, it's brilliant. Get to meet a client that, bringing a lot of money for the business, and they want me involved, which is awesome. But like, then there's that thing of, you're probably not going to see the kids tomorrow, which is like, for me, is a new thing.
Yeah.
I know that we had Dan Blythe on a few months ago, quite a long time ago now. Travels for his job, works away quite a bit. You were away last week, but for me, it's new. Yeah. So it's a little bit like of a getting used to it phase.
And I think it's probably a good thing that those questions are on your mind as well. Like anyone who's listening to the podcast, if you're thinking about like these tensions, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about how this is going to affect your family, how it's going to affect your kids, and then you're more likely to make the necessary decisions rather than overindulge in either, because that's both not helpful.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
Yeah, when we did our Q&A episode, you made the joke of you would go live in the 20s.
Yeah.
Because like all men had to do was go to work.
Yeah.
But now there's that thing of, and like, I'm not trying to be all like, I don't know, there's like a comedic bit of give and take, isn't there, between mums and dads? And like, you know, mums will say, you know, we carried them for 9 months. Men will say, well, we go to work and then we come home. We have like this, that kind of back and forth, which has become a little bit of a joke. But there's an undercurrent of tension there sometimes with people. Like for me, I love the fact that dads now are like hands-on dads. They're really involved.
Yeah.
But the pressure to provide and the expectation to provide is still the same as it always has been. So on one hand, you've got an expectation that hasn't dropped, but on the other hand, you've got an expectation that's risen. And that can feel like a lot of pressure for some dads. And again, that was kind of not on my mind, but it was like, right, I love on the one hand that I am here and I'm doing so much stuff with the kids. It's brilliant. But on the other hand, there is still this thing of like your primary role for me, not for everybody, is like you go out and you work and you earn. And so that kind of rose. And then this didn't drop. That stayed the same.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of people, a lot of mums as well, can't speak into that too much, but like there's always that thing of it feels like you're just taking on more and more and more responsibility where nothing drops. So what I've decided to do is I play football twice a week, just drop that down to one. Kind of free up a little bit of time. I know that's leisure time, but free up a little bit of time. Let Leanne go out that time and stay home, do what I need to do, play with the kids, whatever. So yeah, it's just a bit of a transition period.
Yeah.
But one that I know a lot of people have been through as well.
Yeah, and I think there's always going to be more seasons like that, aren't there? I think the way the world's going.
Yeah, oh man, like it doesn't seem to stop. That's the other thing. It doesn't, like, I think if there was a kind of an end in sight, I wouldn't feel the need. Like I said, there was more reasons to go anyway. I was in my last job for 4.5 years and kind of things weren't progressing and probably boredom's not the right word, but it was becoming very samey and I was thinking it's time for a change anyway. But then like, you know, taking over £100 to fill up your car, it's like, yeah, this is like, come on, but there was no end in sight.
Yeah.
Things just seem to keep getting more and more and more. If there was an end in sight, maybe I wouldn't feel that urgency.
Yeah. I think one thing that I find really helpful, generally for me, I don't know if this works for anyone else, but for me, is I like to try and, especially when it's going to difficult times, is really define like what success looks like in that time. So like for me, like my work will all of a sudden get really busy. I can't control it because if someone dies or people's like lives go to mess, I'm the one that gets involved, and so it's a bit unpredictable. But when that happens, it's there's a little bit of leeway of, yeah, I'm not gonna be around for a while, but even whatever it is, I like to define what success looks like, so then I can work in like months and seasons. Actually, for a while, I'm going to do this, and success will look like maybe I'm not doing every single bath time, but insisting on quality time. What does that look like? And so it's not just time spent. Is the time that I am spending with my kids quality, and is the time I'm spending with my wife quality time, rather than just I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Whereas if that is the case, what needs to change in order to actually make that time like redeemed?
Yeah.
And then the times when you have to slog away at work become easier, because actually sometimes that's easy. I just need money from this. Actually, I can put my fulfillment from work on the shelf for a little bit. But then there's a time when that comes back, and actually, like for me, work is also about fulfillment and feeling like I'm useful, rather than just money. But that changes all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, having helpful goals, that really helps.
Yeah. Very goal orientated. So yeah, that's me. And do you know what? I've enjoyed reading everybody's messages, catching up on the messages.
Oh, I've loved it. If you do have a message, please do send it in at Parenting Tools Pod on Instagram or TikTok.
Send us your voice notes.
Oh, we love a voice note.
We love a voice note, don't we? So yeah, that's us. I've enjoyed that. Nice to be back in the groove.
Back in the groove. And John, we've got a special guest next week.
Do we?
You.
Me?
And me.
Man, I was so confused. I was thinking, what have I signed myself up to? Because a lot of times I don't know.
See you next week.
Oh, I feel like I lowered the tone too much there.
No, it was good. I think that was necessary.